Live from Schellenberger Field in the Hill City. Welcome to broadcast number 1 of the year on LHSN. It's the home opener for Lynchburg Field Hockey as the Hornets play host to Lebanon Valley Dutchmen. Both teams come in with a 1-0 record. Excited to have you with us here your Saturday afternoon. TJ Wingard here with you to take you through all the fun. This is the first of 2 games we'll have with you this afternoon. Later on, Lynchburg men's soccer has their season opener. It's the number 5 team in the country, the Messiah Falcons. Play currently at midfield. Win for both sides. Lynchburg on Thursday at Mount Olive. 4-3 double overtime winner. Meanwhile, Lebanon Valley coming off a win also on Thursday. 2-0 against Elizabethtown. And a game in which the Dutchmen outshot the Blue Jays 21-2. So certainly one-sided affair. And the Dutchmen looking to continue that success on the road. Taking on Lynchburg. Team that made the NCAA tournament last year, as they have 3 consecutive seasons. Scrum at midfield, Sarah McCullum able to garner the possession for Lynchburg. Picked up by first-teamer All-ODAC Kessa Romero. Swung over. This is Emily Yanis. She had the first goal of the season for the Hornets. And with the whistle blown, we'll have our first penalty corner on the day, setting up a set piece for Lynchburg. Lynchburg second in the conference a season ago, averaging more than 9 penalty corners per game. It was a high-octane offense, top 3 in the ODAC, more than 3 goals per contest. These set pieces will be crucial this year, as they are every single season. Played in by Brittany Clayball. Romero couldn't handle it cleanly on the initial touch. Able to maintain possession, weaving through traffic. Picked up initially by the freshman Mallory Lamb. Another whistle, another penalty corner inbound. Lynchburg under 44th-year head coach Enza Steele, coming off a 14-8 season, 6-2 in conference play, and as noted, made it 3 consecutive years reaching the NCAA tournament. They were bounced in the first round, however. Did get to host that game. Meanwhile, the Flying Dutchmen 9-10 a year ago, 5-3 in all MAC conference play. Clayball looking for Giannis, pass, touch off the mark. Miscommunication between Giannis and Romero. Romero able to keep the possession alive, worked around the nearest defender. Picking her up initially was senior from Lebanon, Pennsylvania, Hannah Shirey. Errant pass sent towards the far sideline. And the Dutchmen will take over under 7th-year head coach Amber Corcoran, a 2009 graduate of Lebanon Valley. Thus far in her career, holds a 49-47 record. Parlayed out to the far side. Sorrel Long, junior from Ambler, Pennsylvania, started the first game of the season. 4 shots. This one taken by Long. 5th shot of the season, first in the afternoon. Misses wide left. First official shot on the afternoon. Still looking for our first shot on goal. Riley Cameron swings it over. Aaron Boatwright looking forward. The pass ultimately ends up across the far sideline. That backline duo, among other pieces, of course, but for Lynchburg, Boatwright, one of the best players to that position, junior from Fredericksburg, Virginia. Also has her sister Alex in attendance, graduated last year from the University of Lynchburg, and former keeper for Coach Steele and the Hornets. Good hustle up the near sideline, but unable to keep it in play as Riley Weinford, her second-year player from Glen Allen, Virginia. Weinford, the closest defender off the restart. Gracie Johnson passes ahead. Elena Tully, sophomore from Burnville, Pennsylvania, working on the end line. Sends it back out to Long. Behind Long is Shirey. Instead, pass goes in the direction of Alana Antonello, junior from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Hornets get the stop. McCullum fighting with Emily Klein for position. So now Romero started up for Lynchburg. First team all-conference a year ago despite missing the majority of the back half of last season. Gets the pass ahead to Giannis. Giannis marked up by Mel Mercado. And another whistle and third free position already. Penalty corner on the day for Lynchburg. Clay Ball has been the player to insert so far for Lynchburg. And it's been opportunities to set up Giannis as well as Romero. Clay Ball will once again insert. Starting keeper for Lebanon Valley, sophomore from Haines Sports, New Jersey, Kaylee Kmet. Taking the shot, Giannis has it land at the stick of Shirey, who's able to clear it to the near sideline. Picked up initially by Tully. Tully right next to Antonello. No room to work with. Romero with it now for Lynchburg. Senior season for Romero. Picked up 2 assists in the win against Mount Olive. That's certainly the role she plays there in the midfield for this Lynchburg offense. That was part of why when Romero was hurt, memory serves, against Eastern Mennonite last year, the rest of the way, the offense didn't quite look the same. Still had Jackie Laro, one of the best players in program history. Still had Emily Dudley, who could find the back of the cage any given night. It still didn't have that same spark there in the middle, bringing it all together, and that's the Romero factor. Pulling out for a moment by Sophia Stranick, junior making her second start of the season. Off the restart, Emily Klein has it for the Dutchmen. Ahead for Skylar Dice. That name might sound familiar for Lynchburg fans. Dice transfers from Lynchburg over to Lebanon Valley. Junior from Annville, Pennsylvania. Now back playing in her home state. Here's Cameron. We talked about Boatwright earlier. Riley Cameron stepped into a massive role last season. Now a junior from New Jersey, third-team All-ODAC a year ago. Klein looking for room. Forced to play it back. Stranick on the Dutchman side of the turf. In front of her, Sydney Rowe, freshman. First start of her career this afternoon, second game played. Long pass forward, Lamb the first to it. Lamb heads to the far sideline. 2 Dutchmen in the area. Create the turnover for Lebanon Valley. Trying to set it up in the middle of the center circle. Picked up. Sorrell Long couldn't keep control. Off a couple different players' sticks. Romero the last to it, and with the whistle blown, possession goes to Lynchburg. A little more than 8 minutes to play in the opening quarter. The home opener for the Hornets. Lynchburg last year, about 8-1 record when playing here at Schellenberger Field. Certainly serves as a nice home field advantage. And on the other side, 5-5 road record last year for Lebanon Valley. Of course, numbers from last year don't always carry over. They're not predictive into a new season. We'll see how these two trends treat these two teams this afternoon. Marlou Vendricks, another freshman starter, brings it across midfield, now has Giannis. Giannis sent down to the turf, whistle blown. 2 defenders in the area, Sorrell Long and Emily Klein. Clayball, lone grad student on the roster for Lynchburg. A little bit of an opening for Vendricks. Shot was deflected. And now Lebanon Valley will take back over on the offensive side. More on Coach Amber Cochran. About 13 wins a couple seasons back in 2019. Earned Conference Coach of the Year and made it all the way to that Commonwealth Championship game for the first time since 2010. Boatwright trying to find space and get away from Sarah Lydek. Romero. Arced up by Klein. That's going to be a fun battle to watch this afternoon. Set it up for Giannis. 2 defenders immediately on her back. Kmet steps up and out of the cage, gets a foot on it, and back in the hands of the Dutchman it goes. Early 2-1 shots advantage for Lynchburg. Madison Mark checks in for Sydney Rowe. Mark started every game last year for Lynchburg, and it was Mark, the sophomore from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, with the golden goal winner in double overtime against the Mount Olive Trojans on Thursday night. Flipped out to midfield, the intended target being Rebecca Lane. Lynchburg got it back. It was Riley Weinfortner starting the possession after the turnover. McCullum through contact, whistle, and happened just inside the shooting circle. Another penalty corner on the way for Lynchburg. 4-0 advantage for the Hornets over the Dutchmen in that category. That's 4 penalty corners, just 2 shots to where we are now for Lynchburg. As much as you want to see these set pieces lead to scores, you also want to see them lead to shots at the minimum. So things to clean up here in the early goings. Pass inserted to Vendricks. Sent to the far side. Mark in the vicinity, as was McCullum. Goes across the end line, and it's going to stay with Lynchburg. Chipped through the semicircle by Mallory Lamb. We're down to 5 minutes left in the opening quarter. Lana Taub just checked in for Lebanon Valley. She had one of the 2 goals against Elizabethtown. Giannis, maybe 5 feet away from the cage, shoots, scores, and there is your first home goal of the season for Lynchburg. Giannis makes it 1-0 Hornets. Giannis had the first goal of the season. She's got the first score at home as well. Up to 2 on the year for the third team, all ODAC honoree. And there it is one more time. Lynchburg's been persistent on the offensive end. We talked about those penalty corners. Like to see those end up in shots, but furthermore, shots leading to goals, and you start to see that process iron itself out here in the first quarter. It took about 10 minutes, but Lynchburg has their patience pay off and lead 1-0. Justice Washburn checks into the game for Lebanon Valley after giving up the goal. Hornets back to work, approaching the attacking third. Clayball dribbles, whistle, forces her to retreat a few steps. Looking for Giannis. Pass picked off instead by Gracie Johnson. Up the far sideline. Another whistle. A couple shocked Dutchmen seeing the possession come to an early close. Nice stick work from Vendricks. Able to keep the ball down and in the hands of Lynchburg for a moment. 2 teams trade possessions, some contact, Boatwright. Tangled up what looks like Lexi Ward. Dutchmen try to play it quick, and Boatwright there to wipe away the opportunity. Pick in the pocket of Sarah Leidek. That's the type of impact that Boatwright has. She does that defensively. Plays a focal point in those penalty corner set pieces. And figures to be one of the best players inside the ODAC. Loose ball sent all the way back out to Cameron. Now a second-year starter, third-year player overall. In front of her is Rebecca Lane. Second game played. And it was Lane scoring the first goal of the season for Lebanon Valley. She's actually a native of Elizabethtown, PA, so that opening score of the year certainly felt sweet. Ahead for Mark, looking for second score of the season. Instead, over to Giannis, who taps it home. Second goal of the opening quarter. Giannis, third of the season, and the Hornets lead 2-0. Here it is one more time. 3-on-1. Pass made it all the way through. Olivia Van Meter could have taken the scoring opportunity for herself. Instead, makes it all the way over to Giannis, who, as noted, second of the day, third on the season for the senior. little less than 3 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Lebanon Valley looking to retaliate. Gracie Johnson to Klein. Klein has Washburn on the near sideline. That's where the pass goes. Washburn able to keep it in. Mark, the closest defender. Madison Mark, despite being a freshman last year, significant playing time, mostly coming on the back line. You see her shifted up further up the turf, at least this afternoon. It's always interesting to see from one year to the next how players' roles change and differ. And when you have head coach Enza Steele pulling the strings, you trust a lot of the roster movements, position updates, things of that nature. Leave it to the pros for that. And Coach Steele, how about 642 wins? I'd say that makes her a pro. Van Meter got her stick in the vicinity. Poked out. Weinfordner gathers. Sophomore. A nice pass ahead. Then settled down by Van Meter. 3-on-2 the other way. Ahead for Mark. Pass. Slow down just a little bit. Nice work for Sophia Stranik. She had it for a moment. Then on the attempted clear, has it go right towards Micah Oches, their first-year player. One of a handful of players hailing from the Netherlands on this Lynchburg roster as well. Mark. Back to Weinfordner. Now it's Cameron to midfield. Lexi Ward in front of her. First team all-conference a year ago, and Ward with an assist in the season opener against the Blue Jays. Hornets back in the attacking third. Clay ball over to Giannis. Klein as well as Gracie Johnson there to pick up the two-time goal scorer this afternoon. Lamb from the attacking third. Has it deflected. They're going to say no shot from Van Meter. It was seemingly off the body or stick of somebody or someone's stick. Appeared like it went off the body of Van Meter. Ergo, they'll say no shots, no goal. And we have the final seconds of quarter number one winding off the clock. And the buzzer sounds. It's a 2-0 lead heading into quarter number two. Lynchburg with the early edge on Lebanon Valley. We'll step aside and see if the Dutchmen can respond when we return. You're watching Lynchburg and Lebanon Valley on LHSN.
Want to have some outdoor adventures while getting a degree at the same time? At the University of Lynchburg, we have an on-campus zipline and ropes course. Plus, we offer adventure trips that cost less than a cup of coffee. And did I mention our beautiful scenery? We're a university for students looking for something more than just books. Welcome to your new adventure experience.
At the University of Lynchburg, we've lowered our tuition, so you get a better value for a great education. Come see our campus for yourself. University of Lynchburg, we've lowered our tuition, so you get a better value for a great education. Come see our campus for yourself.
Set for quarter number 2 between Lynchburg and Lebanon Valley. Both teams enter 1-0. Who will leave today undefeated? The Hornets lead 2-0 through the first 15. Update you on some of the stats from that first quarter play. 5-1 shots advantage for Lynchburg over the Dutchmen, and that seems to paint the picture for what we saw in regards to possession in the first quarter as well. 3 shots on goal, none so far for Lebanon Valley. 1 save for the Dutchman keeper, Kayla Kmet. None so far for starting keeper for Lynchburg, Kayla Brady. 4 penalty corners for the Hornets, none to this point in the game for Lebanon Valley. It'll be the Hornets with the first possession of quarter number 2. Weinfordner works up the near sideline, ahead for Sarah McCullum. In front of her is Sorrell Long. Able to generate a turnover for the Dutchman. Sends it to Klein. Then Jenna Angst has her pocket picked. Boatwright, make that Giannis. Full steam ahead before conceding possession back to the Dutchmen. 2 teams trade possession once more. Whistle on the play. It's going to stay with Lynchburg. Boatwright off the restart. Dribbles forward, tries to cross right to left. Instead, taken away by Johnson. Clay ball can't settle, but Mallory Lamb can. Looking for Vendricks. Couldn't get the pass past. Poor choice in words there. Sorrell Long. And at this point in the game, we have not seen a prolonged offensive possession for Lebanon Valley. And on cue, quick turnover. And it takes the clear from Engstad, sophomore with 13 games played, 2 starts last year. Played in both games this year so far. If not for the clear for Engstad, Lynchburg was knocking on the door for potential score number 3. Lamb turns, passes, wanted Giannis. Had to go up and off the stick. Rowe was the next one to it. Whistle on the play, and a penalty corner set up for Lynchburg. Number 5 on the day for the Hornets. Giannis leads the way for Lynchburg with 2 shots. Everyone else in the shot department, Madison Mark, Olivia Van Meter, Kessa Romero, all with just 1. Clay ball will once again insert. Pass, short hops over the stick of Vendricks. Romero backs up the play, keeps it down on the turf, backs down 2 defenders, spins. Now Rowe has it taken away. Poked out by the Dutchman. It's outside the shooting circle. Good pass ahead. Lexi Ward couldn't maintain possession. Riley Cameron from behind generates the turnover. Looking for Giannis ahead. Pass off the mark. And the turnover gives it back to Lebanon Valley. Today serves as the 16th all-time meeting between the two sides. Lynchburg with the edge, 8-7 in the series against the Dutchmen, 4-3 when playing at home. And Lynchburg has won 4 consecutive meetings between these two teams. Tully had it for a moment in the attacking third. Quickly had it poked away by Cameron, but Tully stays resilient, gets it back. Cameron gives her the end line where it was Mallory Lamb who stepped up and ultimately cleared it outside the shooting third, or attacking third, I beg your pardon. Klein stops, pivots, tries to bring it back to the near side. Washburn, good hustle, able to keep it in. Sorrell Long, the intended target. Weinfordner gets the errant pass. Now has McCullum. 3-on-1 for Lynchburg. McCullum with Rowe and Giannis flanking to her left. McCullum centers it up. Rowe gets a stick on it. Kmet gets a foot on it. keeps it out of the cage. Ball still live. And now the whistle will bring a close to the possession as a ton of credit goes to Hannah Shirey, the lone defender in front of Kmet. That was all the Dutchmen needed, narrowly getting through the defensive possession without conceding goal number 3. The Dutchmen do turn it over to the Hornets. Romero, head down, works to her right. Dribbles towards the end line. Try to put it in the center of the shooting circle. It's popped up. Clay ball with Skylar Dice, the former Lynchburg Hornet. Picking her up. Another whistle. Foul did not happen inside the shooting circle, so no penalty corner. But Lynchburg still in the attacking third. Sent towards McCullum. Kmet lost a glove. And now with yet another whistle, it'll be another penalty corner, number 6 of the day. That becomes foul number 17 for the Dutchmen. The good news for Lebanon Valley is Kaylee Kmet does get to put, the glove isn't necessarily the right way to put it, but the non-stick hand protection back on her left hand. Talking more about Kmet, sophomore from Hainsport, New Jersey, second start of the season. Did not allow a goal against Elizabethtown, 100% save percentage, had 2 saves in the win over the Blue Jays. Romero over to Boatwright. Boatwright takes the shot. Set down. Clay ball with a second opportunity, sent it right to Kmet. And that possession comes to a close. And Lebanon Valley's defense has been tested here in quarter number 2, but the Dutchmen have been there to answer the call. Flung up towards midfield. Potential numbers advantage for Lebanon Valley. Ward out in front, but controlling here. Antonello against Riley Cameron. Tries to pick it up and have it stay on her stack instead. It's flipped up across the end line. Lexi Ward brings the press high, and it forces a pass off the mark from Cameron intended for Boatwright. It appears they'll say it actually went off the stick of Ward. That would make a fair amount of sense. Cameron, Boatwright played a lot together on the back line. You would expect a fair amount of chemistry in that pass. Looked like they simply weren't on the same page. But Ward sticks with that theme. Got a stick on it. Nice pass ahead. Set back down, and it's Lexi Ward finishing the play. It was a nice give and go between Ward and Tully. And the Dutchmen have their first score of the day. Goal number 1 of the season for Lexi Ward. She had 4 last year, and her first this season makes it 2-1. Persistence pays. Case in point, after generating yet another turnover, give and go. Ward to Tully. Back to Ward. First score of the day for Lebanon Valley. And it's a Dutchman offense that was 6th in the MAC Commonwealth a year ago in goals per game, right around 1.5. Lynchburg north of 3 scores per game. So difference in competition and conference outlook and different playing styles. Still a 2-1 Lynchburg lead as Romero won Giannis. Deflected a couple times and ultimately sent across the headline. It'll stay with Lynchburg as the Hornets look to respond. That goal for Ward on just the second shot of the day for Lebanon Valley. Dutchman outshot so far by the Hornets 10-2. Only down by 1. That's where it matters most, but that shots category is going to have to level out if you're a Lebanon Valley fan. Mallory Lamb. Intended for McCullum. Picked up instead by Shirey. Nice deke from Romero. Creates some space. Does it once more. Crosses right to left. Center of the shooting circle. Takes it from the left side. Denied by Kmet. Second chance opportunity. Emily Giannis with a hat trick with just under 8 minutes to play in the first half. Again, sticking with our first half theme here, persistence. After the initial save from Kmet, Giannis, right place, right time, and here it is again. Also, a ton of credit for Romero creating this opportunity. And off the padded glove, right to Giannis, who taps it in. Her third of the day, fourth of the season. And Emiliana certainly creating a compelling argument to be our LHSN player of the match once we get to that point. But more importantly, if you're a Lynchburg fan, you have the response. But a couple minutes after, to be precise, a minute and 11 seconds after the goal from Lexi Ward. Hornets offense not done yet. Already knocking on the door and at the attacking third, Boatwright has Claybaugh. Claybaugh able to evade two defenders. One to send it to the near side. The intended target, Marina Nodwadney. Second game played this year for the junior from Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. Klein attempts the clear. Weinfordner settles it down nicely. Just inside the shooting circle, letting it fly. Vendricks denied by Kmet. Ricocheted out towards the near sideline. McCullum trying to set it up once again, but then had it deflected by Shirey. Possession goes to Lebanon Valley. A little more than 6 to play in the first half. Here it is one more time. Lynchburg's been close all day long. They've hit the back of the cage 3 times. And plenty of opportunities to add some more. That's a welcome sign if your coach Enza Steele, considering you graduated a Jackie Laro, you graduated Emily Dudley. It's great to see that offense still operating at a very high level, considering Laro, Dudley. That's a combined 85 points of production from last year. That's also number 1 and 2 in that respective category. Nice pass ahead inside the shooting circle. Opportunity here for the Dutchmen. Quickly erodes. Cameron looking to clear. Gets it over to Martha Chapese. Pass picked off by Dice. Now Cameron settled initially. Nice battle between Lamb and Antonello. Ultimately, it's Mark gathering on the near side. Rebecca Lane, the closest defender. Mark, plenty of mustard in the pass for Vendricks. After one more hop, made it all the way up to Brooke Highland. Highland, the intended target, make that mark. 3-on-3, Mark leaves the shot wide right. Again, apologies on incorrect number. 8-0. First day of the season, home season for a lot of us, myself included. Mark steps up in front of Shirey, forces the errant pass. It's not me verted before, but Lynchburg back to work on the offensive side. Lynchburg reverses. On the far side, Chapese for Claybaugh. Claybaugh looking for Vendricks. Nice dribbling from Chapese. Nice set from Vendricks. Evades the first defender, Sorrell Long. Sent to the feet of Kmet. Able to have it go wide of the cage. It'll be the Dutchmen taking over now. Quick turnover. Another scoring opportunity, and right after collecting the pass, shooting and scoring, Sydney Rowe. First on the day, second on the season for the freshman, and Lynchburg makes it 4-1. Turnovers have been costly all day long for Lebanon Valley, and they've led to opportunities just like that. Here it is again, saw it moments ago. Turnover, pass, And a really nice play there from Rowe, letting the pass come to her, setting up a spot where, once the ball's in a spot where she feels comfortable, it's marked up in her position, lets it fly, and gets it past Komet. She becomes the first player not named Emily Giannis to hit the back of the cage. And Lynchburg out in front by 3 with just more than 3 to play in the first half. Weinforder creates the turnover now. Lau looking ahead for Olivia Van Meter. Brooke Highland looking to take it away from Skylar Dice, who's able to clear it ahead. Chapese had it rest at her stick, but whistle on the play. It's going to stay with Lebanon Valley. The Dutchmen trailing by 3, and also, as noted earlier on, have lost 4 in a row to Lynchburg. The last time the Dutchmen beat the Hornets, 3-2 win back on September 13th of 2016. So it has been some time. And the Dutchmen certainly have their work cut out for them. Falling behind by 3. Still just under 2.5 to play in the first half. Sent back out to Chapese. Settled down. On the outskirts of the attacking third, Van Meter, Highland, neither could get their stick on it, and it rolls harmlessly across the end line. Possession will start at the stick of Stranick. Junior from Hanover, Pennsylvania, started both games this season. Dice working against Franca Veranek. Veranek, a sophomore from Germany. Second game played this year. Served as a nice piece off the bench a year ago for Lynchburg. It did have some spot starts as well. Nice offensive weapon you can plug in when you need a score. Good pass forward to Wadney. Had it for a moment. The Dutchmen return the favor. Turn it back over to the Hornets. Big cut from Jenna Tangiers. Hold a dangerous ball. It'll be Lebanon Valley and Sarah Edick on the near sideline. Van Meter gets it back for Lynchburg. Mark. Nice stick skills. Keeps it in. Has 2 defenders. Make it 3. Another whistle. And now keeping it in is Rebecca Lane. Long. Trying to get it towards midfield. Instead, pass taken away by Oches. Long pass. Finds nobody. We're down under 30 seconds in quarter number 2. Chapese versus Ward at midfield. And slowing down Ward will ensure the first half will come to a close with a 4-1 score at the break. 16-3 shot advantage for Lynchburg over Lebanon Valley. Plenty for the Dutchmen to think about and work on during halftime. Meanwhile, Lynchburg and Coach Steele head to the break. All smiles across the roster. We'll step aside, come back, show you some of the stats from the first half of play. Lynchburg carries the 4-1 lead over Lebanon Valley into halftime. You're watching the Dutchmen and the Hornets on LHSN.
Be ready for anything, okay?
Come on, let's go together. Together, let's go. Come on. Let's go, keep going.
There is the best to it. Sweet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Good one.
All right, guys, you see the meat grinder down here?
You done on camera? Oh, what you think of that? Woo!
I wanted to be a physical therapist probably starting about halfway through college. I love the concept that exercise is medicine. You know, we're starting to discover that exercise really can remedy many of the things that we thought that only surgery or only drugs could remedy in the past. When the student comes here, it's because we believe in them, it's because we want them here, it's because we believe they'll be successful. The faculty here are devoted to their development, not only academically but also professionally. We're not so inundated with things that we don't have time to make students one of our highest priorities. We have your back. We're gonna help you through that. If you're willing to work, then we're willing to put the work into it and the effort to help you succeed.
This video isn't about me. It's about the limitless possibilities that the University of Lynchburg allows me to be. An athlete, an artist, an adventurer, a writer, a believer, a human. Because what I love about the University of Lynchburg is that they have a saying, here we're home. And honestly though, I think a better fit would be a home for everyone. Because it doesn't matter the color of your skin, the person you love, the God you pray to, the pronouns you use, the city you're from, the language you speak. University of Lynchburg gives you the greatest opportunity they can for you to be the absolute best version of yourself.
I was really attracted to Lynchburg primarily because my dad went here. He is an alum, so I kind of have that close tie of being interested in this school. And the school had what I wanted to study. I knew I wanted to help people in the area of health and wellness, so the health promotion program was definitely a program that drew me in, and from day one I've been in love with it, and I wouldn't have chosen any different. I have never had better professors or teachers in my life, and I think here at the University of Lynchburg, the professors definitely care about their students, especially in the health promotion department. These professors want you to be educated, want you to have the experience, and just want you to feel confident going into your career path following your collegiate education. You just feel like you're cared for here and that you matter, and that no matter what, at the end of the day, you're going to be successful, and the people here really want to be here, and everyone has a purpose, and it's just a great environment to be in.
Halftime in the Hill City. Lynchburg leads 4-1 at the break. Home opener for the Hornets field hockey squad. Second game of the season as well for Lebanon Valley. The Dutchmen come in 1-0. Have some work to do in the second half. I'll show you some of the stats from the first half. And a little one-sided in these respective departments, and that kind of signals what we saw really in the first half. It was a little one-sided, very dominant 30 minutes put together by Lynchburg, and that's a great sign. Again, talking about losing pieces like Jackie Laro and Emily Dudley and plenty more. Good to see that offense still there. 17-3 shots advantage. Again, that's very indicative of time of possession advantage the Hornets had in the first half, and then that led to 12 shots on goal, and especially considering the first 3 penalty corners came and went for Lynchburg with no shots as a result. It's good to see the offense pick up from that point onward. Wish there was a stat we could put up here for turnovers, because that's really been what has plagued Lebanon Valley to this point, and we even saw it with that goal from Sydney Roll. Instantaneous turnover to score, and that's what gave Lynchburg their fourth score of the day. But those are some of the numbers from the first 30 minutes. We'll step aside, come back, tease, and get you ready for the second half of action between Lynchburg and Lebanon Valley, coming to you on LHSN.
My name is Alexis Fabula. I major in criminology and I double minor in psychology and criminal forensics. My favorite part about Lynchburg is the friends that I've come to have. It's helped me come out of my shell more, and it's helped me become the person I am and the student I am. I really enjoyed how small the campus was, and I also really enjoy how small the class sizes are. It made me feel like I was going to be more engaged than I would at a bigger campus. If someone was on the fence of coming to the University of Lynchburg, I would definitely love to sit down and have a conversation with them, because I'm forever grateful that I made this choice. It's definitely something that a student wouldn't regret. Out of my 4 years here, I've not had one bad experience. I've had a great 4 years, and I'm going to be very sad to go.
Just under 3 minutes away from the second half, getting underway between Lynchburg and Lebanon Valley. An exciting first half with plenty of offense to watch for the Hornets. Can Lebanon Valley make some adjustments, get back into it in the second half? Find out when we return. You're watching the Dutchmen and the Hornets duke it out on LHSN.
Every great college has a great city. For Lynchburg, we are near urban areas with lots of restaurants, shopping, and events. Plus, we are one of the top schools in the area. Come see for yourself.
Moments away from the second half between Lynchburg and Lebanon Valley. The Hornets looking to make it 5 consecutive wins over the Dutchmen. Meanwhile, Lebanon Valley looking to mount the rally and pick up their first win against the Hornets since 2016. We talked about some of the team stats from the first half. Let's give you some of the individual numbers as well for Lynchburg. Caleb Brady only faced 1 shot on goal. It did hit the back of the cage, so no saves to where we are now. Emily Giannis leads the way with 4 shots, 3 on goal. All of those shots towards the cage have hit the back of the cage. Sydney Rowe with 7 shots, 5 on goal, and of course the latest goal for the Hornets. And then it's joining the shot parade party. 2 so far for Kessa Romero, then 1 for Sarah McCullum and Marlu Vendricks. 2 more poured in by Madison Market. On the other side, Lebanon Valley, no player with more than 1 shot. Rebecca Lane, Sorrel Long, and Lexi Ward, whose shot hit the back of the cage. Only 3 to hit that category so far. Meanwhile, Kaylee Komet has faced 12 shots on goal, has 8 saves, and given up 4 goals so far. Second half officially underway. Skylar Dice at midfield. Pass intended for Lexi Ward. rolls out across the near sideline, and 7th-year head coach Amber Corcoran not happy with the offensive start to quarter number 3 for her squad. Corcoran, going down her previous coaching experience, also been the head coach at Immaculate. Was there for 4 seasons and led the Mighty Macs to the CSAC playoffs and was the 2011 Conference Coach of the Year. And going back a little further as a player for the Dutchmen, made a pair of NCAA tournaments appearances, made it all the way to the Final Four, and in 2006 won the MAC Commonwealth Conference Championship and was also 2008 third-team All-America honoree. So a great player, over 500 records so far as a coach. And going against a Lynchburg squad picked to finish second in the preseason poll behind Washington and Lee, who got 6 first-place votes. Lynchburg got 1, and behind them, actually in third, is Shenandoah, who had 2 first-place votes in that preseason poll. And WNL, Lynchburg, Shenandoah, that was the battle to watch last year in the conference tournament and figures to be the same this season. They had Roanoke there in the preseason poll at number 4. Be interested to see if the Maroons take a step forward and work themselves further into the mix. Giannis generates the turnover. Olivia Van Meter tries to chip it inside the shooting circle. Wanted Romero, couldn't connect on the pass. Set down by Claybaugh. Claybaugh cuts back towards the middle of the turf. Pass makes it all the way through Romero. Her dribbling ability really is something that you don't have to watch long for you to marvel at it. Rolled a dangerous ball after the pass from Lamb. Possession to the Dutchmen, but you've seen some of that playmaking on display, talking more about Romero. And even if she doesn't necessarily get the assist, like it was Madison Mark who assisted the Emily Giannis goal to make it 2-0. And then it was Brooke Highland assisting the Sydney Rowe score. So no assists so far today for Romero, but her ability to get inside the shooting circle, setting up penalty corners. Even if she doesn't get the assist, it's the assist to the assist. That's the type of impact she has in this game. And if you're a soccer fan, familiar with Lynchburg men's soccer, very Carter Averett-like. Sometimes those players in the midfield, well, Romero, I do believe, will be somebody who fills up the stat sheet. Sometimes, some games, she'll leave with no assists, but her impact still felt nonetheless. Giannis absorbs the contact from Dice. Clayball looking to get it back to Giannis. Shot towards Komet. Ball still live. Van Meter with a second opportunity. Now picked up. Another opportunity. Vendricks leaves it wide right. Mark couldn't keep it in. And they'll send Lynchburg back to the edge of the attacking third. Lamb forced to send it back out to Weinfordner. Weinfordner wraps around, gets to the end line. Van Meter, the intended target, couldn't keep it in. Stranik starts the possession for Lebanon Valley. A couple passes later on the far sideline. Pass taken away. Sorrell Long was looking to get it to midfield. And immediately the Dutchman defense back on their heels. Clayball couldn't get enough steam behind the shot. Kmet able to kick it away. Arthur Chapese in front of Lexi Ward. Now it's Clayball against Dice. 2 former teammates. Pass goes back to Chapese, but Ward the first to it. Could create a scoring opportunity for Lebanon Valley. Ward will have to beat Cameron. Couldn't get the pass through. Otherwise, they might have set up a one-on-one for Antonello. Dice flicks towards the semicircle. Long the intended target. Instead picked up by Lynchburg's number 9, Lamb. Lamb versus Long. Long gets it back. Pass with nobody in the vicinity. Staying with it, Antonello in front of Weinfordner. Gives off, shot, misses wide right. Some frustration shown at the end of the play, too, after Lana Tully couldn't take advantage of the better scoring chances we've seen so far today for Lebanon Valley. As much space we've seen any Dutchman have in the attacking third. Dice. Antonello wanted Ward, leaves the pass a step in front of her. Ward has the lone score of the game for Lebanon Valley. It was first team all-conference selection a year ago, 4 goals, 4 assists. At midfield, 3-on-3, make it 4-on-3 as Clay Ball makes her way up the turf as well. Long pass, Mark, wanted Van Meter. Pass a step behind the aforementioned sophomore from Bel Air, Maryland. Van Meter's been a big part of the offense so far this afternoon. Played in both games so far this season. Didn't see a whole lot of her last year, but the sophomore, especially with those departing pieces on the offensive side, figures to have a larger role off the bench. May even be a player who works herself in the starting lineup through the course of the season. Romero against Klein. Sends long down to the turf. Romero keeps it alive, sends the Clay Ball, chips it up inside the shooting circle, and a whistle on the play setting up a penalty corner for Lynchburg. First penalty corner of the second half for either side. Clock stops, 8:36 to go in quarter number 3. Again, if you're just joining us, it's been Clay Ball to insert all afternoon, and that trend will continue here. Top of the circle, you see Lamb next to Romero, Giannis, flanked to her right, Riley Cameron backing up that trio at the top. Instead, pass goes to the near side wing. Settled down by Vendricks, who takes the shot. And instead of Komet, it actually looks like it was punched out by Emily Klein. So that should be a defensive save for the junior, who had a team best 4 defensive saves last year. Lynchburg has 4 points on the board, but that being said, there have been plenty of other scoring opportunities that the Dutchmen's defense have been there to answer their call against. It's been close a handful of times, but if not for efforts from Klein or Hannah Shirey on top of 9 saves to where we are now for Komet, it could be a lot more lopsided than just 4-1. Cameron against Ward. The Dutchmen really need their offense to find it in themselves, generate some possessions, have some shots, and ultimately see them hit the back of the cage. Ward couldn't have the possession last. Beyond Mallory Lamb stepping up. Ward stays with it. Flip towards Vendricks. Gathers for Lynchburg. Vendricks marked up by Johnson. Nice pass ahead. McCullum a step away from getting to it. Whistle stops play for a moment. Going to stay with Lebanon Valley. It's Klein. Sending it towards Lamb. Claybaugh, as well as McCullum in the vicinity. Dice wanted Johnson, or perhaps Ward further up the field. Johnson has it now. Chips it towards the shooting circle. Cameron there to intercept. Vendricks with steam. Sends it ahead before it lands at Engstadt. Nice dribbles. Giannis makes it past a myriad of defenders. Forced to halt for just a moment. That allows the Dutchmen's defense to reset, get more numbers back. Giannis still with it. Takes the shot, kicked away by Komet. Mark looking for the second opportunity. Instead, it's Washburn there for Lebanon Valley. Sophomore from Harwood, Maryland. Also start up this possession for the Dutchmen. After the initial pass, connects with Johnson. Then off the mark, trying to swing it over to the far sideline, and that has been ultimately the theme for Lebanon Valley so far today, and a ton of credit to Lynchburg on the defensive side, as much as the offense will steal headlines, 4 scores to where we are now. Just under 5.5 to go in quarter number 3. This defense for Lynchburg has not let Lebanon Valley mount more than 2, 3, 4 passes on a single possession. And even the goal from Lexi Ward, it was a turnover, then a give and go between Ward and Tully. After those 2 passes, shot hit the back of the cage, and that was it. So it's been a struggle today for the Dutchmen. Longer drawn-out possessions. Because of that, of these 2 teams doing a lot of work, their defense working on their own third of the field, that has been more Lebanon Valley than it has been Lynchburg today. Big reason why it's 4-1 where we are now. McCullum with Giannis to her left. 2-on-2 plus the keeper. Shot deflected and rose across the end line. It's going to stay with Lynchburg. They'll off the reset on the fringe of the attacking third. Olivia Muir, freshman, started last game for Lynchburg against Mount Olive. 4-3 double overtime win. The golden goal coming from Madison Mark. Muir looking for space. Has Vendricks. Vendricks from the left side tries to chip up and over Kmet, but sails over the cage as well. '20th shot of the day for Lynchburg. There's a 16-4 shot advantage at halftime. That has grown to 24. Hornets lead the Dutchmen in the shots department. And on top of that, 14 shots on goal for Lynchburg, just 1 for Lebanon Valley. Romero fields pressure. Backside defender looked to be Klein. Whistle. And it'll be another penalty corner on the way for Lynchburg. 8th of the day for the Hornets. Still looking for first penalty corner opportunity set up by the Dutchmen. Clayball will insert. Sends it through past Romero. Cameron wanted Clayball. Down to a knee. Klein there just in time to come away with a stop. Ball still live inside the shooting circle. Boatwright has it. Cleared away by Komet. Back out to Romero. Boatwright with another opportunity, and the shot misses wide left. Variety of players with a myriad of opportunities. Nothing to show for it for Lynchburg other than 2 more shots. It's now 22 in the afternoon. Pass to the near sideline, hops over the stick of Amy Tinsman. First time calling out the first-year player from Reading, Pennsylvania. Engstadt. Again, looking in the direction of Tinsman. At midfield, Amelia Taub, second game played. She had one of the 2 scores against Elizabethtown. Vendricks keeps it alive. Spins. The center of the circle. Mark, as well as Giannis in the area. Neither could get a shot off against Kmet. Dutchmen work quick. Another pass goes over the stick of an intended Dutchman target. This time it's Lydek who couldn't handle the pass. Muir, after the pass was tipped, gets to Mark. McCullum with Komet down on the turf. McCullum and Giannis looking to clean up the play, and Giannis would have had goal number 4 of the day. Instead, gets itself outside the shooting circle. Lynchburg will be forced to reset. Clayball throws it back to Boatwright. Boatwright work herself into the corner. Just over a minute to go in quarter number 3. Now Boatwright evades 4 defenders, keeps it in on the end line. Or it did for a moment at least. Ultimately lost control. Lynchburg turns it over. Still up and until Boatwright lost at the last moment. Not bad for backline defender, deking out 4 different opponents. That speaks to the well-rounded nature of Boatwright's game. Race to the loose ball. Cameron, the first to it for Lynchburg. Giving chase was Amelia Taub for Lebanon Valley. Weinfordner to Cameron. Less than 20 seconds to go. Figured to see Lynchburg try to eat away at the remaining clock in quarter number 3. Hornets do turn it over. Chance with 10 seconds to work with. Sent towards the semicircle and immediately picked up by Muir, who will dribble out the remaining time on the clock in quarter number 3. 4-1 your score as we step aside and come back with the final stanza. Lynchburg looking to make it 5 consecutive wins over Lebanon Valley. We're 2 minutes away from seeing if Lynchburg can hold on or if the Dutchmen make it interesting in the 4th. When we come back, 4th quarter action between Lynchburg and Lebanon Valley on LHSN.
When creating a sustainable future, your choices matter, even your choice of a college. The University of Lynchburg is the first college in Virginia to go carbon neutral. Our dining hall is Green Restaurant certified. We compost all of our food waste and purchase our electricity from landfill gas. Now we're turning a hazardous lake into a thriving urban wetland. When you choose Lynchburg, you leave a smaller footprint while building a better tomorrow.
Think a private education is too expensive? Think again. At the University of Lynchburg, you can get a personalized education for the cost of a state school. If you're commuting and you get our top scholarships, you could pay much less. And you get all that without the hassle of giant lecture halls. Our faculty know your name here and do more than just teach. You might even do research together and plan out your next career moves.
Lynchburg is all about you, your ideas, and your goals. We've got one professor for every 10 students, so you can get all the support you need. In the classroom, in the lab, or in nature. You'll learn by putting yourself out there, and we're right there with you.
This is the dough. It's wicked cute. It's always so pretty.
Fourth quarter time in the Hill City. Lynchburg carries the 3-goal advantage into the final 15. Update you on where the stats lie to this point in the contest. 23-4 shot advantage for Lynchburg. 14-1 shots on goal lead for the Hornets. No save so far for Lynchburg. 10 put together by Lebanon Valley and their keeper, Kaylee Kmet. And then you get to penalty corners, 8-0 advantage for Lynchburg. And the fouls department relatively close, 23 for Lebanon Valley, 21 for Lynchburg. And again, we don't track turnovers, but if we did, I figure that number would be a lot larger on the side of Lebanon Valley. That has been the commonality. Couple passes, turned over to Lynchburg, and the Hornets offense gets to work. Can that trend change here in quarter number 4? Set down by Emily Klein. Over to the far side. Two teams exchange possession right around midfield. Make that Gracie Johnson against Weinfordner. In front of her has Ward. That's where the pass goes. Cameron, the closest defender. Ward trying to send it back to Johnson. Goes off her stick and then across the end line. Also inside the shooting circle was Rebecca Lane. And outside of the goal earlier from Ward, there haven't been a whole lot of opportunities where the Dutchmen have been out and running with numbers advantages. That was about as close as we've seen other than the turnover that led to Lexi Ward's goal this afternoon. Lynchburg a season ago, dominant home record, 8-1. That one home loss coming in the NCAA tournament, the Salisbury. 3 consecutive seasons the Hornets have made it to the NCAA tournament. Last year via the at-large bid as Emily Giannis knocks on the door of a scoring opportunity. Mallory Lamb then sent down to the turf. Feet got tangled up with Alana Antonello, who was the defender trying to step up from behind. Lamb and Johnson. Now stepping into the mix is Vendricks. Pass trying to go to Ward. Taken away by Weinfordner. Second-year player has been all over the field today, and one of those players where you'll look at the box score, if you didn't watch the game and say, oh, well, Weinfordner started. That's good. No shots on goal, no assists, no goals, nothing like that, no defensive saves. But to say that her presence has been felt this afternoon would certainly be an understatement. Pass in the direction of Skylar Dice. Slips past the junior. And it's Boatwright with it to start up for the Hornets offense. Near sideline. Junior wanted Lamb. Lost her footing. Instead picked up by Antonello. Taken back by Vendricks. Opening through the middle of the defense. Climb the backside defender. Vendricks will take the shot and buries it. Marlou Vendricks, the freshman with her first collegiate score, makes it 5-1 Lynchburg. Here it is one more time. Vendricks carried it across midfield. No defender stepped up. She had Klein behind her, but Vendricks with open real estate to work with takes full advantage of it. Strong shot towards the cage, and Komet with no answer. Third goal scorer of the day for Lynchburg. Giannis has 3. And then you just saw the goal for Vendricks, and Sydney Rowe has also entered the scoring column this afternoon for Lynchburg. And it's the first of 2 games we have for you this afternoon. After Lynchburg Field Hockey's home opener here against Lebanon Valley, we have really exciting matchup coming to you with first touch set for 2 o'clock. It's Lynchburg men's soccer and their season opener against the number 5 team in the country, Messiah, who's coming off a dominant 4-1 win against the number 3 team in the country, Washington and Lee. So hopefully you'll stick around and join us for what's set to be a fun battle between the Falcons and the Hornets. Again, first touch set for 2 o'clock. Romero had it taken away by Sorrell Long. Tipped up by Rowe, set down by Komet, then ultimately cleared out by Antonello. Dutchman on the far sideline. Lane trying to slip it past Cameron, unable to do just that. Ahead was Johnson and Ward. Washburn generates the turnover. Pass goes to a vicinity with no Dutchman occupying any space. Varanek returns the favor, though. Cross from right to left. Mercado started both games so far this season. Has it taken away by Boatwright. Even numbers forward. Boatwright works toward the end line, has Varanek behind her. Second defender steps up. Boatwright chips it just in front of Komet. Unsuccessful clear for the Dutchman. Varanek, the direction of Giannis. The pass taken away instead by Madeline Ryder. Clock will stop with 9:21 to go in quarter number 4, and we'll have a keeper change. Kaylee Kmet certainly had her fair share of work so far this afternoon. 24 shots for Lynchburg's offense, 15 on goal. And stepping in for Kmet, Devin Goyette, first-year player from Gardner, Massachusetts. So Kmet done for the day. Goyette subs in for the final 9 minutes and counting. Klein looking long for Ward, able to settle the pass. Ward down to the turf from Boatwright. And Boatwright, one of 3 players for Lynchburg to check out, joined by Brooke Highland and Kessa Romero, and subbing in, Madison Mark, Megan Stifler, in addition to Micah Ochez. What's on the play? The junior Sorrell Long sees possession turned over to Lynchburg. It's Mark at midfield with 2 defenders on her hip. Swung out to the near side, Franca Veranek. Chips it inside the shooting circle. Giannis in the air to Rowe, who then really did the same thing, flicked it back towards the cage, but left it wide right. Couple more subs for Lebanon Valley. Here's this sequence again. From Veranek in the air to Giannis, over to Rowe, and if that shot hit the back of the net, that would have been something I can say I haven't seen before. A couple aerial passes leading to a score, but all for naught for Lynchburg. Just under 7.5 left to be played. Ward once again loses her footing, this time tangled up with Riley Cameron. Coach Corcoran not happy on the sideline, but eventually does get the whistle. Mercado ahead for Ward. Ward on the end line. Has her pass taken away and picked off by Cameron. Chipped ahead for Jenna Tangiers. Tangiers wanted Giannis, but leaves it off the mark. Back into the hands of the Dutchmen. Madison Blakesley started the possession, first time calling out. Sophomore from Myerstown, Pennsylvania. Giannis in transition. Klein behind her. More whistles. Clock will continue to roll, though. 6.5 left to be played. Lamb for McCullum. Giannis takes a hack. Ball still live inside the shooting circle. It's Giannis and Shirey tussling for the loose ball before the whistle. Gives possession to Lebanon Valley. Quickly turned over. Romero called for the dangerous ball. So just in case you missed any of today's action, let's recap the scoring. First 3 goals for Lynchburg poured in by Emily Giannis. Scoring started with just under 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Then we got to quarter number 2, and it was Giannis off the assist from Madison Mark. About 9 minutes later, Lebanon Valley got into the scoring column. It was Lexi Ward off the assist from Elena Tully. Emily Giannis scores about 71 seconds later, complete the hat trick. Then it was Sydney Rowe scoring just before halftime to make it 4-1, and then Marlou Vendricks, the only player to score so far in the second half, and we'll have a change for Lynchburg. Between the posts, out comes Kayla Brady, and checking in is one of the freshman keepers, Tamara Gavari, freshman from Lüneburg, Germany. So first taste of college action for Gavari. An exciting moment. We've also seen Vendricks collect her first collegiate goal. And I'll have to do some digging, but this might also be the first career hat trick for Emily Giannis. Boatwright sends it over to Cameron. Cameron completes the swing, far side. From the back line, pass from Stifler, picked off. Ricochets back over to Boatwright. Dice leaves the pass a step behind her intended target, Amelia Taub. Dutchmen back in the attacking third. Swung over to Taub. Taub defended by Lamb. Aforementioned first-year player pokes it away from Taub and generates the stop for Lynchburg. And upon further review, I can now confirm today is indeed the first career hat trick in the career of Emily Giannis. So a number of firsts this afternoon for Lynchburg field hockey. But in other ways, the continuation of a trend. Lynchburg in the driver's seat to make it 5 consecutive wins for Lebanon Valley and send the Dutchmen back to Pennsylvania. Still in search for their first win against the Hornets since 2016. Speaking of that upcoming schedule for Lebanon Valley, after today, it's a date with Bryn Mawr College on Wednesday before next weekend playing at the William Smith Classic against St. Lawrence and William Peace respectively on Saturday the 10th and Sunday the 11th. Meanwhile for Lynchburg, nothing during the midweek portion of the week, Then next Saturday at Ursinus at 1 o'clock, and then on Sunday the 11th versus Janita at Ursinus College. 2.5 minutes left in regulation. Cameron. Boatwright's pass deflected out of play off the body of Mercado. And going back to Emily Giannis, take this as an opportunity. 4-goal lead for Lynchburg with just about 2 minutes left to be played. Emily Giannis, our first broadcast of the year. She's named first LHSN Player of the Match for the 2022-2023 academic year. More importantly, Giannis, standout showing this afternoon. Of course, as noted, first career hat trick, and it comes from just 5 shots. So, very effective. And, of course, the hat trick were the first 3 goals of the day for the Hornets. So, Giannis was the one who got the party started. Long pass, intended for Ward. Veranek, the first to it instead. Can't keep control. Has to go across the end line. That sends the Dutchman back to the fringe of the attacking third. Emily Klein looking for space. Junior first team all-conference honoree last year. Connects with fellow recipient of the same honor, Ward. Dice leaves the shot wide of the cage. And, of course, Dice, the former Lynchburg Hornet, how nice it would have felt for her, I'm sure. Score on her former home turf. But instead, shot sent towards Myra Gavari. This is the cage entirely. Nice move. Antonella creates some space. Lets it fly. Deflected off the stick of Taub, but first dangerous ball is called. 20 seconds and counting left in regulation. And also, this win for Lynchburg serves as another big milestone in the making. It would be win number 643 for Coach Enza Steele. We're getting closer and closer to that 650 mark, which, talking about Coach Steele, second most among active coaches at the Division III level with 600 wins or more. So we're talking about rarefied air as is. But as the final buzzer sounds, 5-1 your final verdict. Lynchburg starts out the year 2-0 and continues their home dominance from last season and picks up a win in their home opener, taking down Lebanon Valley for the 5th consecutive meeting. Again, the Dutchmen will be active in the midweek portion of this upcoming week, Wednesday against Bryn Mawr College. And then Lynchburg will have to wait until next weekend when they're taking on Ursinus as well as Janita. All those games being hosted at Ursinus College. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Game 1 of 2. After this, we have men's soccer in their season opener against the number 5 team in the country, Messiah, coming off a decisive 4-1 win against Washington Lee. Hope to have you stick with us. Final thoughts on this contest. Lynchburg dominance showing. It's great to see the offense continue where it was a season ago, despite the departures of Jackie Lair and Emily Dudley. 26-5 shot advantage to end the game for Lynchburg. And then for Lebanon Valley, tough road stretch, but 1-1, getting back to the field pretty quickly here on Wednesday. This is a game you want to put behind you really quickly, reset, and get ready for Bryn Mawr on Wednesday. Well, that's going to do it for our opening broadcast of the afternoon. Again, first touch set for 2 o'clock between Lynchburg men's soccer and the Messiah Falcons. Hope to have you with us. Until then, my name's TJ Wingard, and we are signing off.